As the scene unfolds, it articulates as if there is a gentle sound, like a memory, that could only be spun by a young girl. Eventually, a man voiced Hibiki and questioned if she believed in immortality. Seeing her confused face, he again asserted, "Wait, let me rephrase that," and asked if she thought it's possible to live forever. Then Hibiki responded that she doesn't know, maybe or maybe not, and the man agreed, as there is no definite answer. Then Hibiki apologized. Further, the man mentioned that he posed a question with no solution and the reason magic involves so much research, so that they might solve the riddle of immortality. So he questioned Hibiki how she would feel about helping with his research and if she would be interested. Then Hibiki responded that, "Master, she doesn't know magic and can't do any." However, the master mentioned that Hibiki could do that, as he wants her to be his assistant. Apparently, Hibiki articulated that since she didn't know a single magic spell and didn't feel like she deserved such generosity, even so she was thrilled and will never forget how she got at that moment at his research facility in the woods. Also, Master is an incredible sorcerer, as the more education Hibiki receives, the more aware she's of how incredible and told the mystical community looks to him as an authority on Magic Circle. Further, Hibiki noted, on the other hand, she is nothing but a trouble to him and useless at just about everything. She could make tea, even while practicing Magic Circle. Moreover, Master quoted that today let's work on a basic loop as its most common base for a circle. So she had to get it down as soon as she started drawing. He noted, "Hibiki, not like that, so watch carefully as the first line meets the second, and this goes here," which is followed by, "but she missed it again." Then he claimed to erase it here and do it over. But Hibiki contemplated that she didn't get it, and tears started coming out from her eyes. Seeing this, Master questioned, "Shall they end things here for today?" Then instantly she ran out from there and started crying, while contemplating that she's no good in improving at all. Also, she ran away when feels pressure and locked herself in a shell as it's a bad habit she've had forever. Furthermore, Hibiki prolonged that whenever Hibiki failed, she broke down and cried. Just then the master voiced, "This is where she'd gone." Then Hibiki instantly apologized to him, and the master assured her, "Better luck tomorrow." However, Hibiki articulated that the master always waits patiently for her to stop crying, as his hands are so warm, safe within that warmth, and Hibiki cried until she had nothing left, but only could be a useful assistant. Later, Hibiki tiredly quoted that makes no sense, but why she is so lost when it comes to magic. While glancing at the watch, Hibiki noted it's gotten late, as she should get to bed, but first she had to go to the bathroom. Suddenly, Hibiki saw a light on in the research room and saw her master. Then he questioned what it was, and Hibiki apologized as she couldn't sleep and asked, "What about him?" Moreover, Master responded that he was just mulling something over and now he's off to bed. Just then, Hibiki questioned him why he was always staring at the watch. Then the Master responded with a good question. Maybe it's because he's searching for the secret of immortality and sometimes gets the urge to listen to the clock as it marks the passage of time, and hearing its sound soothes him for some reason. Also, his worries disappear. Eventually, he explained that every year fewer and fewer people enter the field of mystical research, as sorcerers and magicians have a reputation for being stuffy. So magic has gone out of fashion, but the world needs magicians, as there are some things only magic could achieve. That's why he never gave up, so no matter what price he has to pay, and will keep this land and preserve all life that lives on it. Also believe that magic exists to protect what is precious, even when his research only uncovered more frustration. So that belief keeps him going, then apologized if he's boring her. Hearing this, Hibiki immediately denied. Then the master noted that it's getting late, so he'll make her some tea and then let's get to bed. But she refused and quoted, "Let her do it." After making it, she voiced the master and stated that most things in life are too complicated for her, but she believes that master makes his dreams come true. Hearing this, he thanked Hibiki. Apparently, Hibiki mentioned that she wanted to work hard and could be of any help to him. Hearing her, master contemplated that Hibiki is doing great, but when he first met her, she'd hide in the corner of the room and couldn't even express herself with the word, as all she could do was hold her knee and shake, but ever so slowly she began to smile. After sipping the tea, Master mentioned that it's delicious, then continued that she's like this tea and started at the bottom of his heart and warmed him all the way up, but wished he could watch over her always and want to teach her to place herself as she's always rushing. However, unfortunately, his time was running out. Then he apologized to her and Hibiki voiced, "Master, don't worry, as it's nothing." Then he thanked her for the lovely tea and wished her good night. The next day, Master asserted that it's time he explained the details of his experiment to her. Whatever our goals, we're all magic users, and each person can control a different kind of magic. So there are a myriad of ways to achieve eternal life, as he has been developing a special method called transportation of the soul. Moreover, he stated that even with what they currently know about magic, it's still impossible to halt the aging process, as time is the biggest enemy. And it's the one thing magic has never been able to conquer. Naturally, it's been his greatest hurdle as well. So his idea is that this which the soul is between an old and a young body. Theoretically, if she keeps switching, that will never catch her. Also, where only one big stumbling block in his plan, it's her soul that's when transposed to an old body, then she is not going to be pleased, but it's still in its experimental phase, so they not use human yet, and instead he'll use a gusk. Hearing him, Hibiki gets all confused as she isn't able to understand his words, but seeing Gusk, she questioned if it's a little Gusk from the forest, and he agreed as there are certainly plenty in the area. Then Hibiki mentioned that in order to master immortality, she'll need to perform countless experiments, but there's no way she could involve another human being. But then the master questioned Hibiki, what's wrong? But Hibiki quoted poor little Gusk. Hearing her, master noted that she's always so compassionate, then asked her if Hibiki knew what the name Gusk traditionally means, and she responded that it wasn't the children of the land. However, the master asserted that it's fuzzy logic, but the land provides for humanity, and feels that he'll be forgiven for taking from it, also knowing it may be presumptuous of him, but even so Hibiki apologizes as she didn't mean it. Eventually, he refused as she is right, because the less sacrifice is the better. Also, he is not planning on killing them, and will return them to the forest when they are done. After that, Hibiki articulated that the task of caring for the Gusks was assigned to her, while playing with it. Hibiki quoted that she caught it and studying magic would be fun if this was all she did. However, she contemplated that someone would come to the research facility. Later, the master voiced Hibiki and stated all he had to say, then requested them to leave and assured her not to worry. Further, he questioned her if they begin today's studies, and after that, Hibiki articulated that the master and she would prepare a new experiment, but she kept messing up like always and yet was very happy to be the master's assistant. Eventually, the master asserted that they were all prepared indeed, for once he feels like all of his efforts have been worth it, so tomorrow will be the real deal, so he's counting on her. Seeing her confused, he mentioned that they had gotten a good result with the animal experiments, but there is no guarantee it will work with humans, so this time he will personally take part in the test as transferring a human soul into a new container, and couldn't ask anyone to do what he wouldn't ask of himself. Hearing him, Hibiki voiced, "Master, it's too dangerous." Then he questioned if she doesn't trust his skill, and assured her that he won't die as his soul will only be in the guest body for a short moment, and once they had seen the result he'll jump right back, so everything will be fine. Moreover, the master quoted that with her by his side, he'll succeed and well, counting on her, so let's get ready. Day of the experiment, the master asked if they shall begin, so please the Gusk in that circle, and he will occupy this one, so complete the circle just like the practice. Then hesitantly she accepted. Apparently, seeing her, he asserted, "Don't be nervous, just do as she always does." Just then, someone entered and questioned if they too were busy with something, but unexpectedly Hibiki made a mistake with the lines. However, the master voiced Hibiki to fix the line in a hurry. Seeing that someone quoted, "Looks like the master got himself stuck then, their luck is changing, boys. As if it's not nailed down, take it, and if it's nailed down, then pry it up." Glancing at their home, another man quoted that this is a piece of cake, as they didn't even this big of a crew. Suddenly, the man voiced her, then questioned her something of what they are up to, and what a magic circle. Then another guy mentioned the poor girl, she must have seen him, and Hibiki started crying. Then the man responded, "Shut," and got back to work. Also, if wants to get paid, then he'll have to earn it. But while holding her, that man quoted that all these tears aren't doing anyone any good, then asked if that was some kind of Gusk, and also killed it. Seeing this, Hibiki got more scared. Further, Hibiki contemplated that it was her fault as she wasn't able to complete the circle. Also, the master gave her a place where she belonged, as he always extended a helping hand to her, and the warmth of that hand brought so much comfort she always wished for. Eventually, she could someday repay his kindness, and can't always cry when things get tough, because she's his assistant. Then instantly completes the circle, and he appreciates Hibiki. Just then, the man is about to hold Hibiki, but unexpectedly Gusk came in between to save her and asserted, "Hibiki, run." Hearing it, she got completely shocked, as it's none other than her master, and he noted that she completed the circle, so ran, then assured her that he'll be fine. but as soon as she ran out of the house, it started burning in fire. Seeing this, Hibiki quoted that he finally complimented her and she wanted to be with him forever and earn 1,000,000 more compliments, but now she's all alone and lost everything again. Then Hibiki started crying. Later someone investigated if she were the master's only assistant and she approved. Then the man stated, "Thankfully, her boss was always thinking I had," as he had self-igniting magic circles hidden all over his lab one suite and the whole place lit up. Further, that man guessed he wanted to keep his research out of the wrong hands, and that was most likely what these goons were looking for. Then he asked if she had any idea what her master had been getting up to in there. Apparently, Hibiki refused as she's afraid and was a terrible assistant. Then he mentioned that maybe it's for the best if she didn't know or be their next target, as it's too bad though all that work went up in smoke. However, Hibiki articulated that the research mattered nothing to her without the master, and her lack of education and she didn't see the significance. Also, the research was just words on paper. Suddenly, the man questioned what she planned to do with that, and if she wanted her to take it to the pound or something, but Hibiki refused and thanked him, then contemplated that the physical world carried more weight. However, Hibiki asserted that she'll take care of him as he's all the family she has, a member who will always watch over her. Lately, Hibiki noted that she had the money that he'd been saving, so she's financially fine, but the question is what their next step master, as the gust soul was lost in the commotion and his body was destroyed. However, Hibiki pondered, even so the master hasn't changed, as he cheers her up whenever she's down. Then she mentioned that things are gonna be just fine, and Hibiki quoted that she had an idea, then questioned why not start with a nice cup of tea. In the next scene, someone asserted that he has had an incurable wound for an endless month now, and quietly it continues to corrode, but he'll never believe in that garbage called magic. The capital city, Kamigesk, Hibiki mentioned in amusement that the streets are really amazing and questioned, "Aren't they, sensei? But what really will they do from now on, as there's nowhere they can go? Although working at an inn would be good, as no one would hire her." Suddenly, a boy shouted while pointing at someone, a sorcerer, and a woman quoted, "Do not just point at them." Seeing them, Hibiki mentioned that those people are sorcerers. Unexpectedly, someone questioned if she's a tourist because sorcerers might be rare to see in other places, but here in Kamigesk, they're quite a common sight. While pointing at the building, he asked if she could see that large building over there, as that's the Kamisade Academy of Magic. Also, it's the country's most prestigious institution for magical research, and it's a first-rate academy, as it's a landmark just like this capital city. Further, he prolonged that even though magic nowadays has become a thing of the past, as there are still those who still keep their country's glorious history alive. Just take a look at those robe-wearing sorcerers, and she'll really get a taste of the atmosphere. Hearing this, Hibiki contemplated that it is amazing, as there's no chance for a person who can't use magic like her, and must be a lot of skilled sorcerers in an enormous place like that. Suddenly, somebody requested not to think of them as she would a tourist's antique souvenir. Magic is strength, so it will never be a thing of the past. Then the man stated, "Lady Misaki," he'd misspoke in the presence of the Academy's finest scholar. Then Misaki questioned how she could help him, but the man refused, as he's not here to shop. Apparently, Misaki mentioned that if she's not mistaken, she's Lady Hibiki, assistant to the authority on Magic Circle, Lord Shiratsuki, and Hibiki hesitantly agreed. Eventually, Misaki quoted that she had not introduced herself, as she's Misaki, assistant to Director Asuma from the Kamisade Academy of Magic. While in shock, Hibiki noted, "Nice to meet her." However, she voiced, "Lady Hibiki," that this may be rushed, but she's here to receive her and must ask to come with her to Kamisade Academy of Magic. Royal Kamisade Academy of Magic, Hibiki contemplated. What's going on, as she came as Misaki asked. But why would they call her to this incredible place? After that, Misaki voiced, Director, she had returned with Lady Hibiki. Then Director requested to make her acquaintance, Hibiki, as he's the director of Kamisade Magic Academy, Asuma. Then she introduced herself as Hibiki, and thought what to do where she must be more respectful, but he welcomed her to his academy. However, Asuma stated that this academy is home to Kamisade's only research facility, and also home to the young students studying magic here, so Lord Suki's assistant, Hibiki, in order for her to display her talent at this academy, he purposely brought her here and requested her to become a researcher. But then Hibiki responded that she cannot use magic, and Azuma quoted, "Don't worry, as their researchers also teach here as their second duty, so she will most definitely be able to share her cosmic knowledge." Eventually, Hibiki responded that she doesn't know anything, and he asked if she is Lord Shiratsuki's assistant. but instantly Hibiki mentioned that there is no mistake as she's Sensei's assistant. Then he noted that there's no problem and will leave it to Misaki, show Hibiki the laboratory. After that, Misaki requested to allow her to take Lady Hibiki there, as Suma mentioned that may her magic bring happiness. Then Hibiki contemplated that she seems to be falling deeper and deeper. However, Misaki asserted, this path leads to the laboratory as Lady Hibiki's room will be inside its residential quarters. Then Hibiki questioned if she could really live here, and Misaki stated that they have already done the investigation and are aware of her situation. Immediately, Hibiki thanked her and Misaki mentioned that there is no scheduled itinerary today, so may do as she wishes. Then Hibiki quoted that although this situation's become problematic, but at least they got somewhere to sleep. As soon as she entered inside, seeing that Hibiki noted, after all, she really seems to be in the wrong place, a man questioned what she is wandering around here and in whose class she belongs. Suddenly, he asked if she's that authority, so another man asserted that this must be Master Shiritsuki's assistant who was said to be coming today. Then a man questioned this young child, but he didn't believe it, and she apologized to them before walking away. Later in her dorm, Hibiki asked herself if she could really live in a place like this. Since then, it articulated that every day in the research lab they would meet all together to discuss complex matters, but she understood nothing. However, someone questioned Lady Hibiki what is her opinion as she's at authority's assistant, so simply must share her experience with them as he'd been looking forward to this. Then Hibiki responded nervously that she doesn't know. Hearing her, everyone started whispering. Lately, Misaki noted that since the results of the laboratory didn't work out too well, then Hibiki apologized and Misaki asserted, Lady Hibiki, from tomorrow, then requested to assume her teaching duty. Hearing her, Hibiki gets shocked, then Misaki asked what she is able to do, and Hibiki responded that she can't do anything and guessed she really shouldn't be here, then tears started welling up. Unexpectedly, someone voiced, what a cute researcher, then asked if she got used to things around here or she would like her to give her a tour, but Hibiki refused as it's fine, she was just about to go back to her room. Then she questioned, how about a cup of tea, and if she didn't mind then come to her room. Later she introduced herself as Itsuko, and as for the cute researcher, then Hibiki introduced herself too. Moreover, Itsuko questioned Hibiki-san what research she was doing here. Then Hibiki responded that she's not quite sure but starting tomorrow she's start teaching, but asked if she could really do it, and Itsuko assured her that's fine as it's simple, all her have to do is read book to the children. Also, didn't she have a teacher, so why don't she teach in the same way as he taught her? Then Hibiki responded that he'll try her best, and Itsuko asserted that they'd already drunk all the tea, then asked shall she make another pot, and Hibiki quoted that she'll do it. After sipping the tea, Itsuko mentioned that it was delicious, and Hibiki stated that is the only thing she could do, then questioned Itsuko-san what kind of research she did. However, Itsuko responded that she studied curses, then Hibiki mentioned that it's hard to imagine as Itsuko-san is so beautiful, and Itsuko thanked her and stated that she's in the middle of an experiment, so if she's interested would Hibiki like to take a look. Seeing the experiment, Hibiki started shaking in fear and quoted that she has to be leaving now, but Itsuko shouted wait and calmly requested her to come again. Further, Hibiki mentioned what a large world as there are many types of people, but they're all friendly, so she tries hard here too. The next morning, Misaki wished her good morning and requested her to change into this as it's the professor's garment, then Hibiki contemplated that starting from today she's a professor. After wearing it, she asked how it is, then Misaki mentioned it's fine, so now she'll take it to her classroom. While walking, Hibiki questioned if it could be that the students, everyone is older than her, and Misaki noted that appeared to be the case, and as long as she behaves maturely, the difference in age should be not a problem. Also, there are some problem students in this class, so maturity is key here. As soon as Hibiki saw the student, she got surprised, but Misaki noted, be quiet as she will introduce the new teacher. While entering the class, everyone started murmuring, then Misaki introduced her as Hibiki-sensei, and she will be instructing them in magic circle, then voiced, Sensei, she will leave it in her hands. Unexpectedly, someone noted, it looks like another amazing teacher has arrived. Sensei, right now, magic's way uncool. Suddenly, Hibiki remembered that she must act mature and mentioned that magic is a wonderful thing, but the boy quoted, Sensei, isn't this way more convenient? Instantly, that boy placed a gun in her hand and questioned if she could surpass the speed at which he pulled the trigger by using magic to get out of this crisis. On the other hand, Misaki asked if it will be alright about the new Hibiki-sensei because what she said before, Misaki doesn't believe that she will be able to teach what Hibiki knows to others. Hearing this, Asuma noted that Misaki's worries about Hibiki as it'll be fine as he thinks that she'll try her best in her way. In the classroom, the boy asked again how Sensei is going to use magic to get out of this, and Hibiki responded that she doesn't know. Then the boy questioned why would Sensei say that. Then Hibiki noted that magic is not all-powerful, and it's not used to hurt other people. That's what she was taught. However, the boy asked why she thinks magic exists, and Hibiki noted that she didn't know. Hearing her, that boy quoted that as a teacher she sure doesn't know a lot. Moreover, Hibiki responded that's true, but perhaps for people, no magic. She thought that magic exists to save anything that needs to be saved. Then Ahido stated that she said that too because magic is useless, and with it she can't save even one person, so Sensei knows nothing. Furthermore, he understands and questions why they don't resolve this, so let's settle this once and for all as magic versus firearms, the fated showdown. Hearing this, Hibiki contemplated how she ended up in this awful situation. On the other hand, Misaki asked that there was no need for her to take over the class. Was there a problem with the other teachers? In the next scene, a boy assured someone that he could heal and look after her. So sleep in peace. Don't worry about a thing, Mizuki. On the other hand, Ahido asked, shall we begin? With there no time limit, so first to make the other give up wins. Also she could use magic, and he'll use his gun. Then they'll know which way is better, magic or machine. Then Hibiki contemplated that this must be the worst first day ever. Then Ahido questioned if she was ready. Then Hibiki asked if she could draw a magic circle. Ahido approved. But once I say go, do as you want. Eventually, Ahido quoted the teacher, to watch out that these may be rubber bullets, but they do hurt. And Hibiki pondered that she doesn't remember. Then someone shouted while mocking, good luck, teacher. After that, Hibiki started crying while stating, I can't do it. I'm no good. Suddenly, Gus came in front of her. The remembered master stated, memorize this one, as you could use it to protect yourself, and now she has to stay strong. But Ahido mentioned, it's useless, so just give up already. Magic is stupid. Then Hibiki noted, I'm not good at anything. So even if it's useless, I want to try my hardest, because that's what my master taught me. Further, Hibiki continued, I have to try and won't give up. Then Ahido quoted, I too didn't want to give up, and shouted, I've had enough of your crap. So this is over now. But before he could trigger it, unexpectedly, the circle appeared in front of him. Seeing this, Ahido gets shocked. Then Hibiki quotes, I hadn't finished drawing it, and saw her master. On the other hand, he instantly covered his ears. Seeing this, master articulated that Hibiki practiced this circle, and know that she doesn't like to use magic that hurts others. But it is different when she has to protect herself, and if she uses this, it will freeze her attacker, as it brings out her opponent's worst fears, so once it's cast, it will show what he fears more than anything. Moreover, Hibiki asked, if Ahido-san is fine, what is he seeing? And Ahido requested someone to help Mizuki. Suddenly, she contemplated, what's Ahido-kun seeing? And baby Ahido voiced Mizuki, don't be afraid, as I'll take away your pain, and introduced himself as Ahido. So look in my eyes, they're weird color, and that's cause they heal anything I look at. And the girl asserted that she met this awesome wizard, and he used his magic on her. However, Ahido quoted, I will look at you every day from now on, so just take it easy and get some sleep, as I'll heal you. Apparently, Ahido articulated, what I was given by the magic man was a choice, as Mizuki sleeps and her illness gets worse. So it's possible that one day she may never wake up again. And Hibiki noted, if he touches her with his magic, then she may actually survive. Is that what he wants? Further, Ahido prolonged that I didn't even hesitate and understand the true meaning of my choice until I met Mizuki. While coughing, he noted she didn't tell me about this and said not to worry. Also didn't warn him that it would be this bad. However, he is burning, pain, dizziness, and confusion, as his entire body is under siege. But still, later, Ahido questioned, if I look, but don't worry, as I'm going to hold on. While giving her something, he noted, these are called baby cakes, as my magic master gave them to me, and they're delicious, so try one. Eventually, Ahido contemplated, as long as I could see that smile, it was worth it. After that, they spent all their time together. Not that they had much, but even with all the pain he was in, Ahido was happy, and then Mizuki spent more and more time asleep. After a while, she couldn't even get out of bed. As soon as she woke up, Ahito asked, "If I wake her, then apologize, that's fine, as I'll be right here, so don't worry, just rest." Later, blood coming out from his eyes, and in the hospital, someone questioned, "He's having another surgery. And how much is this now?" Then another responded, "He's practically blind in his right eye, and there's only so much more his body could take." Suddenly, another man mentioned, "That's unacceptable, as Ahito is a precious test subject, and if they lose him, then their research will be wasted. So it's time for Plan B." After that, Ahito shouted that I can't see Mizuki anymore. What does he mean? And the man quoted, "That's their decision." But he denied, and the man asserted that they're right, as he's at his limit. Instantly, Ahito started running away, and the man shouted at him to come back, and Ahito contemplated that he'd made a promise to Mizuki, as she whispered to him that she was afraid to sleep, and that was the first time Mizuki called him by his name. However, he knew all along, and watched her when she was all alone. Also, it was so delicate that he wanted to protect her forever. Eventually, someone noted that she's their newest child in the study, as the sole survivor of an accident that killed her parents, and since then hasn't been able to talk. But it also triggered the magic inside her. Seeing her crying, Ahito quoted, "Don't cry, as you're not alone." But when he finally came, 3 weeks had passed, as his one and only Mizuki never lost her faith in him, and kept until the very end. But what magic is like when it is not good for anyone, then he won't believe something this unfair doesn't deserve to exist. After seeing all this, Hibiki started crying, and as soon as he woke up, she questioned if Ahito was fine, as he was out for a long time, and Ahito contemplated that she saw everything. He was under a spell, but can't believe that she used such incredible magic. Then mentioned that she peeked into his past, and then cried about it. Further, Ahito noted that she's an odd person, and if I couldn't take it, then she wouldn't have looked, and Hibiki agreed, as she's odd, and made some tea, as it's the only thing she's good at. Just then, Ahito voiced, the teacher asked if she's studying magic, then the master asserted that magic comes at a price. Ahito quoted, "There's no such thing as a perfect spell," knowing that she's still prepared to support magic. Hearing him, Hibiki responded that she doesn't know. Then he noted, "I figured as much, as she'd said that, and is one weird teacher." Hibiki apologized, as she's pretty bad at this. However, Ahito contemplated that she cries and smiles for others, then uses magic that seems beyond her, as all magic users talk about their research and those who don't care about anything except the next incantation. But she'd never met a wizard as bizarre as her. While serving him tea, Hibiki quoted, "It'll warm him up." Then he thanked her and continued that as these thoughts came to him, such a strange teacher steamed from the tea which clouded up his glasses. After sipping, Ahito noted that it was delicious. So, welcome teacher to Kanisade Magic Academy. On the other hand, Asuma mentioned that she really beat Ahito, but isn't it funny that a teacher shouldn't fight their students? Misaki noted that she bet the students will accept Hibiki now. Then Asuma stated that things are getting interesting, and he can't wait to see what kind of magic she shows them next. Hearing him, Misaki questioned if this is a game to him, and he denied, as it's Hibiki's special kind of magic user, the kind that will make people think. On the other hand, Ahito thought, what could they expect from that little teacher next? In the next scene, Hibiki articulated that she's had a while now to settle into Kanisade Magic Academy and grown used to life here mostly. The faculty wasn't entirely happy with the Ahito incident. However, Hibiki noted that there's some kind of commotion outside. But something happened and suddenly saw Ahito-san as a student isn't allowed in here. Then Ahito mentioned that he'd looked everywhere for her as it was tough to breach this place's security. Eventually, she asserted not to tell her that Ahito-san caused the ruckus outside, and Ahito noted that he is just a student professor. Then Hibiki corrected Ahito-kun. Apparently, Ahito quoted that she seems pretty young and gotta toughen up or they will walk all over her, and almost forget, while giving her glasses, he mentions that it's for her. Moreover, someone knocked the door, and Ahito asserted better make a break for it. Before he could jump out of the window, Ahito questioned if she would come and see him tonight as he will be waiting by the bridge in front of the school. Immediately, Misaki excused her and asked if everything was fine. Seeing her, she continued she has no respect as guns are an insult to a proud institution built on magic. Eventually, Misaki questioned what is the meaning of this as she's supposed to set an example, and shouted Miss Hibiki. Then she apologized to Misaki. Lately, Hibiki voiced Ahido-kun. Seeing her, Ahido quoted that he thought she come but seemed worn out, and Hibiki assured her that she is fine, so he noted to follow him as there is something he wants to show her. After reaching, a woman wished them good afternoon and introduced herself as Yotsuko. Seeing her, Hibiki contemplated that he wants to show her a woman. Then Ahido quoted that is Professor Hibiki. However, Yotsuko asserted that she is the new teacher. Nice to meet Hibiki-san, as he is saying nice to meet her too. Hearing her, Hibiki get confused. Then Yotsuko apologized to her as he misbehaves and is quoted to be a good boy and come back. Eventually, Hibiki wondered what kind of creature it was, and Ahido whispered that it was her child and asked if she ever heard of homunculus. Further, he explained that it's a living weapon, created during the Great War and life, given to a weapon to preserve life. But she lost her own child, and ever since Yotsuko's while doing homunculus research. Since they can be created in human form, she has been trying to recreate her departed child the closest she has been able to get. However, he continued that her creation never became human because they are always missing something. But in spite of all their flaws, they make her happy for 3 days. Then it's back to the pit of despair. Since they are incomplete, they liquefy and evaporate, and she breaks down crying. Tear after tear until she starts the process all over again, and even loses count of how much magic can be cursed sometime. Hearing this, Hibiki contemplated that she clings desperately to the smallest possibility for as much to live them off, and it drags down too. Then Ahido questions if this kind of magic she will be researching. Apparently, Yotsuko apologized to make them wait and asked if they were hungry. Then Ahido mentioned that they have gotta go, and Yotsuko asserted them to come again. However, Ahido mentioned that the latest is already 3 days old, so let's get out before the flood. Later in the library, Hibiki noted that she found it. But it's so complicated, and unexpectedly someone greeted a cute little researcher. Moreover, Hibiki voiced Itsuko-san. Then she, how is Hibiki? And she responded just looking something up. As soon as Itsuko saw the book of homunculus, she asked if Hibiki going to make one for herself. Then Hibiki agreed in doubt that she will pull it up but gonna try it as she just want to help. And it can't hurt to look at least. Apparently, Itsuko stated that the process itself isn't that complicated, as she could borrow her instruments if she wanted. Also, Itsuko never was able to make a good one for herself, so don't fret if she fails. Actually, Itsuko exclaimed that they have a lab devoted entirely to homunculus, and they'd never gotten it right, and the human form is especially hard as most doesn't even make it out of the test tube, and Yotsuko has attempted the human form many times. But she has only created unstable subject and tried harder than anyone else. Hearing her, Hibiki quoted now it seems more impossible than ever, and contemplated that her smile was so kind, and she hated to think of that face crying. Later, Hibiki noted to her master that she doesn't know what to do, but having the tools might as well give it a try. Further, Hibiki articulated that soon after she used the equipment Itsuko-san lent her, and tried the best she could as the first and second attempt failed, so guessed that she just didn't have what it takes and gave anything for just a little talent. However, Hibiki was so happy for her and remembered that she fell asleep, but immediately got confused after seeing a little girl. Hibiki shouted that she did it, but how her experiments always end badly and where to find some clothes. Staring at her, Hibiki contemplated that Yotsuko-san is going to flip over how adorable she is, and after yawning, the girl asked the master what was her command. Hearing her, Hibiki gets confused and the girl mentioned that she is primed for action. But things the same mighty peaceful round here. Then Hibiki stated that the war has ended, and the girl quoted that she can do whatever she wants. Eventually, seeing her walking away, Hibiki shouted don't go outside, and articulated that sometimes people get started on the wrong food. Then introduced herself as Hibiki. Apparently, the girl questioned what that thing was. Then Hibiki responded that it was her teacher's. While holding the gusk, she noted that Hibiki must be pathetic to have that as a teacher. After that, the girl asked while holding the book, what's this? And Hibiki asserted that it was her homework, as it's pretty advanced stuff, so want to read this picture book. After reading, she threw it. However, while holding the newspaper, she stated that the newspaper is usually best for assessing the social climate. Unexpectedly, she asked for a light, but Hibiki shouted at her in denial that no smoking. And where did she even get that then? The girl asserted stop being such a nag. Meanwhile, Hibiki contemplated that, after all, on second thought, Yotsuko-san might not like her, but she had to pick this and stated first things is about the clothes. After she wore it, Hibiki pondered that she was still totally cute and thanked Itsuko-san. Then she asserted she is going to clear it with Misaki-san so she could stay here. So be a good girl and not go anywhere. On the other hand, Misaki asked about homunculus and Hibiki agreed, then questioned if she could keep her in the lab for next 3 days. That way Hibiki could wait and see if she melts and teach her in private in case she doesn't. However, Misaki asked her not to make a homunculus so that she would run away or something. But Hibiki quoted that her job is hard enough without her pulling pranks. So give her time as she will take care of her. Hearing this, someone noted that Hibiki couldn't even take care of herself and this isn't a daycare center. So Misaki asked why she didn't come and meet her first. And Hibiki, on the other hand, that homunculus noted what dragged the nerve making her wait. Meanwhile, Hibiki noted that she's really cute and deep down really sweet. As she bet Misaki likes her as a whole, suddenly they saw a blast coming from lab, and Misaki questioned what was that. Then Hibiki asked if she was fine. But that homunculus noted that she overcalculated the necessary firepower. So failure often accompanies success, and seeing her holding a gun, they both got a huge shock. Eventually, Hibiki noted the sunglasses and questioned where she kept getting those guns. Then she responded that they were on her desk. Just then, Misaki asked Ms. Hibiki what she was teaching this girl. Then immediately Hibiki apologized to her and articulated that she will survive 3 days with this girl, then started running. However, Misaki disapproved of her running in the lab and stopped her, then asked what was wrong, and Hibiki apologized to her. The next day, Hibiki wondered where did she go and went. For a second she took her eyes off her, then pondered that girl, the homunculus that Master created must attempt to create a homunculus, fail, and they would disappear in 3 days. Further, she prolonged that Yatsuko-san, whose child died, has been trying to create a homunculus as a replacement, and if her survives, then she hopes Yatsuko-san will accept her. But with each successful attempt, she grieves all over again. However, Hibiki quoted that she doesn't want to see such a kind person heartbroken. Unexpectedly, she voiced, "Mom looked sad," and then Hibiki questioned if she had been there the whole time, but what's with sweets? Then the girl responded that she heard they're called baby cakes. Moreover, Hibiki asked, where'd she get them? And the homunculus girl asserted, some guy she met in the hall, it's some cool dude with sunglasses. Then Hibiki mentioned that it must have been a Hito-san, and the girl stated that Lord Shira-san is enjoying them immensely. Further, she noted that it's her new name as she read it in the book, and took the name of one of the greatest homunculus warriors ever. Then Hibiki questioned, what were you reading yesterday? As that book is really difficult. Also, she couldn't get past the first chapter, Shira-san. But Hibiki mentioned that it's too long, how about Shai-chan? And the girl noted that she's Lord Shira-san. Eventually, Hibiki mentioned that it'll be dinner time soon and she doesn't want to spoil her appetite. But Shira-san quoted that all time she refused, so don't boss her around and let her do what she wants. Also, Shira asserted that the guy who gave her the cake, he said not to use too much of her power, as if she uses too much and soon go poof. Hearing her, Hibiki stated that he's probably right, so be careful. Then Shira quoted like she needs her telling her that. Apparently, Hibiki mentioned that even a homunculus values its life. On the other hand, staring at the flower, Asuma mentioned how beautiful the roses are, especially gorgeous today. And this is all thanks to, but before he could complete his word, someone destroyed it in a blink of his eyes, and Asuma got confused. With that, Hibiki questioned while holding Shira if they are fine. And Misaki shouted at Ms. Hibiki, not again. But Shira exclaimed that she only missed it by a little bit. Later, Hibiki articulated that Shai-chan would not be stopped and spent all day creating mischief throughout the school. As she was chasing her non-stop, then Itsuka shouted, "Don't interrupt her experiment." While pulling her out, Hibiki apologized to her. After that, Hibiki stated, "Shai-chan, green peas are for eating, not shoving in her nose and blasting at people." Suddenly, Shira exclaimed that she wanted to go outside, and Hibiki responded, "Just wait one more day, then they'll go outside tomorrow, as she promised. And if they do, Shira had to do what she says." Hearing her, Shira noted, "That's not fair." Then Hibiki quoted that it's nothing too difficult, so eat everything on her plate, don't cause trouble for others, and don't fire guns into random rooms, as it's dangerous and they're not even at war. Then Shira questioned if she stuck to those rules, that she'll really let her go, and Hibiki approved. Then crossing their fingers, they had a deal. Seeing this, Ahito mentioned even this kind professor can become a cruel taskmaster, and Hibiki thought that one more day if she doesn't disappear in one more day. The next day, Hibiki quoted, amazed that she ate everything this time, Shichan, and Shira asserted that it was a task beneath her considerable talent and skills. Then Hibiki mentioned that she has to go to class again today, but she could sit here and be quiet while she was away, as Shichan can do anything. So she'll be back later and don't cause any trouble. After that, Shira noted that Hibiki act like she's a little kid or something. Also, she had better things to do than play around with lower life forms. While walking in the hallway, Hibiki contemplated that looks like Shai-chan will survive the trial period and she'll make her whatever she wants for dinner tonight and hope Shai-chan will be happy. Later, Hibiki quoted, "How did this happen?" as her fever isn't going down at all, and articulated, by the time she returned from class, Shai-chan had collapsed on the floor and had turned blue and was in a lot of pain as homunculus vanish after 3 days if they're not complete, but Shai-chan is just like other. Then Hibiki stated, "Shai-chan, hang there." In the next scene, Hibiki questioned Itsuko-san, "How is she doing?" And Itsuko responded, "Not good, as her regular healing spells aren't having any effect." Hibiki quoted, "She's really worried." Suddenly, Ahito voiced, "The teacher gave her this as it's a special kind of medicine," then apologized, "I can't look at her." Hibiki thanked her. Then she voiced, "Shai-chan, this is for her, as it's just something someone gave her." Shira refused, "It's yucky," then asked, "Could she take this medicine?" Hibiki agreed, she knew this is just the thing to make her better. After she drank, Itsuko stated, Hibiki should rest too. However, Hibiki responded, as long as she could still stay by her side. After waking up, Shira quoted, "She was in her bed a second ago." Then a girl asked, "How's her fever?" Shira questioned who she was, but the girl asserted, "Looks like she's feeling better." Shira mentioned she was pretty sick but was fine now. Then the girl stated, there is someone who was really worried about her, and she deserves all the credit, so it's her calling Shai-chan now, so she should go. Apparently, Shira shouted, "Wait," as she wants to know her name. While opening her eyes, Shira quoted, "Is her room, but where did she go?" Instantly, Hibiki voiced, Shai-chan, and questioned, "What's her temperature?" Then Shira responded, "She's really a whole lot better, so don't overreact, as a simple fever can't hold down the great Shira-san." Immediately, Hibiki embraced and thanked goodness. Next day, Itsuko stated, "She seems to be all better." Hibiki thanked her and Ahito-kun, then asked if she could take her to Yotsuko-san. Suddenly, Shira voiced Hibiki as her ribbon came off and requested to tie it for her. Then after doing it, she mentioned it was so cute and asked if Shi-chan wanna go out as she promised her. After that, Shira noted, "That's awesome," as she wanted to go everywhere and look. They had pastries, so let's get some. Later, Hibiki asserted, "Let's go this way, Shi-chan," but she noted it looked more fun over there. Hearing her, Hibiki stated, "It's just they'll come back another day for as long as she wants, so today let's go over here." Then they both went to Yotsuko's home and she greeted a cute professor who came to visit her again as she's happy, then asked who she was. While holding her hand, she responded, "The girl is a homunculus. Actually, she's a complete human being and has a lot of energy. Also, she's so sweet and really a good girl." Then voiced, Shai-chan, she wanted her to meet the woman who will be her mother, so it's time for her. Hearing her, Shira shouted, they came outside together and supposed to play together. Then Hibiki agreed, as they still can, but from now on the one who will take care of is her new mother. Then Shira asked, what about her bath and going to bed? Then Hibiki mentioned that her new mother is good at all that stuff as she's going to take care of everything. Unexpectedly, Shira shouted, she promised her that she could go outside, but that's not fair as it was just her and her, so it's because she caused all that trouble for her. Is that why she doesn't like her anymore? But Hibiki responded calmly, Shira-san was wrong as she still loves her, and it was never meant to be the one watching over her as her job is finished, and just did the early research to begin the experiment. Further, Hibiki noted, she loves her and will always remember or will never forget the time they spent together. After that, she started running away while crying. Just then Yotsuko asserted, Professor Hibiki has created something incredible as she carries it here, right inside her, and the special time they spent together, then asked if it was some kind of spell that brought it to life. Hearing her, Ahito gets confused, then Yotsuko mentioned, Ahito had given eyes that heal whomever he gaze upon, so in the same way, Her child was given special magic as her came in the form of tears, and each drops from her eyes held power. The medicine she gave him, those were her daughter's tears, the last she ever shed. Eventually, Ahito asked if she had given them to him, and Yotsuko assured him as it was worth it, so she's Shai-chan, and didn't cry and questioned if she loved Professor Hibiki. On the other hand, Hibiki mentioned that it was the right thing to do, and now everyone was happy. Suddenly someone voiced Hibiki. In the next scene, Yotsuko asserted that the child she lost and cried had a healing gift in them, as it was ironic then that those tears could bring her no comfort, as it was her smile she needed. Further, Yotsuko continued that she had nearly forgotten it as the pain of loss had overcome her, but she really only needed to recall her smile then contemplated, that her smile face, it was inside her and needed to be reawakened, so all those wonderful memories they made together. While staring at the photo, Yotsuko apologized, as some magic is powerful, and it never goes away as the magic of happiness. Later, Shira mentioned that she heard something, the voice of the girl she met in her dream, as the girl wanted her to thank Hibiki. In the next scene, Yotsuko stated that for the first time in years, her sleeping came with dreams and only had restless nights since losing Nanako. Also, her slumber was what she had sacrificed for magic, and her body was worn out, but it was the inability to dream that hurt her mind. Further, Yotsuko continued that it was the only place she'd see her again, as they say that dreams help them to organize their memories. Once Nanako was gone, her memories were gone and stopped, leaving her with nothing more to sort through. But in some way, it was a sacrifice she was willing to make. Even so, time has started to move forward for her once more, and right now she could sleep again. Then she apologized for making her worried, and Itsuka denied not at all. On the other hand, Shiritsuke contemplated, "What's this?" as he didn't remember and questioned if it was his. Then the girl mentioned that he's back already, how exciting, as dinner will be ready soon. Just then, Shiritsuke asked who she was or have they met before, and apologized as he doesn't remember. She voiced, "Shiritsuke, don't tell me if he really forgot again." Meanwhile, holding a stick, Shiritsuke pondered, "What's this? And if this is his closet, then that means it belongs to him, but yet it's unfamiliar, and it's possible that he'd never seen it before." Suddenly, Hibiki voiced, "Master," and questioned if they were having fish tonight. Then he asked why she asked him that. Apparently, Hibiki mentioned the pole he's going to be fishing with, and not why he was carrying it around. Shiritsuke quoted, "Let's go," so Hibiki asserted, "Wait while she gets ready." As she was catching the fish, Shiritsuke stated, "Hibiki, that's amazing," and Hibiki responded that she's good at stuff like this. Suddenly, she questioned if the bait came off of his hook, and he quoted, "Don't know." Then she stated that it sure did, as the fish took his bait, and he must be great at magic, but is a lousy fisherman. But seeing him dozing off, she voiced, "Master," and he quoted, "It's nothing." Then thanked her, while wondering that going along would help him remember. But his mind was blank as he forgot more and more every day. How much had he lost his things, people, everything that's precious to him? Staring at his watch, he remembered that someone stated, Shiritsuke, that it was a present for him, and even if forget her, he could look at this and remember. Then he thanked her as he'll take good care of it, and the girl expressed her love to him. However, Shiritsuke articulated that must have been when he got serious about magic, and it was when his memory started to fail. As it's much more than merely being forgetful, and it's like someone's been poking holes in his memory, as it frightened him because at any moment he could lose the last of what's precious to him, and someone like him should never survive in regular society. Eventually, Hibiki mentioned that she'll always be with him. While face-palming himself, Shiritsuke asserted that's why he was so afraid. And one day he could forget her too, as wake up in the morning and look into the eyes of a stranger. He doesn't want to hurt her that way. Apparently, the girl stated that it's kind of him to worry. Even so, she'll be fine, and look from you to Shiritsuke, as both of their names are inscribed on the watch, so he could remind himself with one glance. And the girl quoted, "Doesn't make that face, silly, as they'll be fine." And no matter how many times he forgets her, she'll still remember who he was. Then Shiritsuke contemplated that he'll always remember her. Slowly but surely, the sands of memory fall, and an hourglass runs out of time. As he loses his memories, one end would empty out, and she would turn the hourglass over and fill him with love once more. However, he prolonged that the grains tumbled down again and again with love and sadness as they meet each other again. And he would drink out of a cup never seen before, as she'd tell him that they had picked it out together, and sleep with her in a bed unfamiliar to him. Apparently, he'd fall in love with her as if it were the first time. But how many times was it really as an endless cycle? And it eventually took its toll on her emotions because she cried for a long time and then smiled through gritted teeth. Moreover, Hibiki's voiced, "Master keeps staring at his watch. Is it time to go? So shall they head home?" And Shiratsuki denied as it's fine. They had plenty of time. Also, it looks like she caught plenty of fish. Then Shiratsuki quoted that Hibiki's swell and the master when it comes to fishing. Then Hibiki responded that she's just average and like playing outside is all. Also, she's like any other kid that way and not smart as she couldn't do magic, so she doesn't amount to much really. However, Shiratsuki told her not to worry as she's growing every day, and contemplated one day, will he forget about Hibiki as well? At first he was just lending her a place to stay, but soon her potential became an undeniable distraction, and he may not have much time left. Further, Shiratsuki quoted that when she's fully matured he will ask something to her as to who she is, and Hibiki have to answer her that she's the wizard Shiratsuki one and only assistant Hibiki, as it's like a graduation ritual, so if Hibiki say it then she could move on from here, and Hibiki agreed. However, Shiratsuki articulated that it's a kind of farewell, so let's make this one the last as he can't watch her suffer because of him. So the next time he forgets her and then asks who she is, don't answer. Apparently, he's taken enough from her, and whenever he asked her who she was, the girl responded that she's just a stupid girl. Even if he forgot her, she'll always love him, who loves him more than anything in the world. Right now, Shiratsuki continued that right now the names on this watch have become unfamiliar to him, and he wants to know who gave this to him and wants to know if that person is happy. As the sand in the hourglass may have stopped, but with this mechanical timepiece in his hand, he could move forward as his past fades easy and the memories of the once he loved that he sacrificed for his magic. In the next scene, someone quoted, "Hurry up as they are leaving, so sister, let's go." However, Hibiki requested everyone to line up and thought, what should she do as they aren't listening? She remembered that Miss Guy quoted, "The professor, Hibiki, lead the group in today's lesson." As part of their curriculum, they take the students out in the real world, so she'll head up today's field trip. Eventually, in the northern part of Camisade, one may see signs of the description wrought the cannon fire during the Great War. They want the students to learn to empathize with the suffering was brings. So all of them had to do is take them there and then bring them back. That's something even they could handle. Hearing her, Hibiki contemplated that she can't even do this right. Suddenly, someone placed a paper in front of her and quoted signs of the wartime destruction, then questioned if she could find a more bring topic. So why not let him take everyone somewhere fun? Later, Hibiki noted students to stick with her and pondered that in the end she's going to be the one who gets yelled at. They reached, and Hibiki mentioned that mansion's huge and the breeze is so fresh and cool. She can't believe that the weather is so perfect as summer has already come. Then Hibiki remembered the walks she'd take with her master on nice days like this. But then Hibiki questioned, "Ahido-kun, why did he bring them here?" Unexpectedly, Shira asserted that what's the scoop, as she was led to believe they'd be visiting someplace extraordinary. Seeing her, Hibiki shouted, "Shai-chan, how did she get here?" As she's trying to work and she shouldn't be here, then Shira responded that she's tired of waiting at the house. Then Ahido asked, "Shira-kun followed them?" And again she asserted that her name is not Shiko, as it's Lord Shira-san, and asked what this place was, as she was promised, and demanded her delivery. Eventually, Ahido noted not to worry as they'll have some fun, as this place has the mark of magic, so rather than looking at some war debris, it wouldn't be more educational to check out some magical debris, and she wouldn't have to go far to see that, so let's go take a look. But then Hibiki asserted hesitantly that she's the teacher, and other students will, but before she could complete her words, Shira quoted not to worry, they'll survive and inside looks more fun. While walking inside, Hibiki noted that it's really dark in here. Then Ahido stated that it's been sealed off for a long time, as this place may look like a regular mansion, but there are secrets in the basements, and he didn't want to spoil the surprise. Eventually, Hibiki voiced Ahido and questioned if he doesn't hate magic. Then he agreed and she stated, yet he attends a magic academy. However, Ahido mentioned that it's ironic as his grandpa sends him there, and Hibiki asked what about his parents. Then he responded that they died a long time ago and killed in a terrorist attack during the war, as she's about to apologize, but he asserted that they were conducting horrible experiments and got what they deserve. Further, Ahido continued that he was one of their guinea pigs, so when they died, he finally was able to pursue marksman training. So except it got too expensive, and he had to stop. Also, there was no way his grandpa could cover it. so if he had to make a sacrifice, that's when he transferred to the Royal Magic Academy, which is practically free. Apparently, the government covers the tuition at their school, and he gets passing grades, even though he sleeps through class, so there is no harm in knowing the enemy. Hearing him, Hibiki questioned if magic is his enemy. Then Ahito responded that the same enemy that mutilated his body. Then Hibiki pondered that Ahito-kun had surgery to make him a magic user and casting spells shortens his life. But wait, she studied magic. That means she's his enemy. Moreover, Ahito voiced that they're here, and he was pretty sure that what's on the other side of these bars hates magic as much as he does. Seeing the monster, Hibiki noted that it's horrible, and Ahito mentioned that another failed experiment just like him, as this place used to be a research facility before the war. Further, he explained that all sorts of atrocious things were done to try to make magic weapons, and once it was discovered they had created this monster, and the whole place was shut down. Also, rumors say this thing used to be a 6-year-old girl, as she has given so much power and couldn't maintain her human form. However, he prolonged that she also so strong that no one knew how to kill what she become. Then they locked it up here, hoping it would die on its own. So just sort of unscrupulous behavior he'd expect of a magician. So don't be scared of it as they cast a sleeping spell on it, and it would take a lot to wake it up. Just then, Hibiki is about to say something to Ahito-kun, but Shira unexpectedly whistled, and Hibiki quoted while covering her ears that scared her. But Shira noted that whistle is defective. Then Hibiki stated, "Give that back, Shei-chan, as it's not a toy, and with that she's going to freak people out," while blowing so hard. Suddenly, Hibiki thinks that she woke it up and hopes those bars are as strong as they look, and it won't. But before she could complete her words, the monster broke the bars. While running, Ahito shouted to the teacher to do something and use her amazing magic. Then Hibiki responded that she can't do that and apologized as she can't use any magic. Hearing her, Ahito noted that makes no sense and guessed that it's up to him, then started firing his gun. After that, Hibiki asked if they were safe, but while running again, Ahito mentioned that he figured that wouldn't be enough. Suddenly, Shira asserted that this isn't good, as they need some heavy-duty firepower to stop those things, which means now it's her turn. However, while pointing her gun, Shira noted that she's a weapon, so it's time to prove her worth and fire her gun. But unexpectedly, Hibiki embraced her from the back and requested her to stop, as she doesn't need to put herself in harm's way to prove her worth. Hearing her, Shira voiced Hibiki she's a weapon and asked if she wants her to be a laughingstock. Then Hibiki refused, as she's happy just having her around so she doesn't have to fight and her friendship's enough for her. Then Shira responded that it's true she does like her but also wants to be useful and serve her function, so she'll fight and protect. But again, Hibiki denied, as she doesn't want that, and if Shira fights and uses up lots of energy, then she might disappear. However, Hibiki contemplated that when she got sick and thought she would vanish, her heart felt like it was being crushed. Then stated that she never wants to see her like that again and wants her to be with them forever. Hearing her, Shira quoted that Hibiki sure is demanding but agreed that she won't fight. Then Ahito noted that hugging is all well and good, but they should probably get moving. On the other hand, a student questioned what's that noise while running. Hibiki shouted not outside as that's where the students are. Then Ahito responded let's go down and shouted this way monster. However, Hibiki noted, Ahito-kun, there's a door, and he asserted that it's their only option, so let's jump there as this should buy them some time. After that, Ahito quoted, teacher, as they have two choices, and it's up to her to decide. So the first option is a direct attack as they strike it head-on and escape while it's disoriented. But Hibiki noted that's too dangerous, and he mentioned that it's true as they won't escape unscathed. But he had his eyes, with these he could heal most of their wounds, and the other option is to use Shira's homunculus power and blast that monster away. Then asked the teacher which of them she chooses, but Hibiki contemplated that Ahito-kun can cure wounds with his eyes, but using his magic damages his life force and he will be the one to suffer. On the other side, Shei-chan could create weapons with her homunculus abilities, but her whole body is made of magic from magic, and if she uses too much power and could use it up then she vanished, so magic requires sacrifice. Eventually, Ahito asked if that is a cruel question, so look he'll distract it while they escape as he was the one who brought them here. Also, the truth is he already had his mind made up and couldn't pass up an opportunity to tease her one last time. Apparently, Hibiki shouted that isn't right as she doesn't want anyone to get hurt. But Ahito quoted she's a magic user and making sacrifice is what makes magic magical. Then Hibiki mentioned that she'll create a kind of magic that doesn't hurt anyone. However, Ahito asserted that the professor is always good for a laugh, so that's crazy talk. Then Hibiki asked in panic if what she said was that funny. While laughing, Ahito denied as he wished her the best of luck, but they're still stuck here and better think up a plan. Then Hibiki questioned what they could do if there was a phone or a radio in this room, and Ahito responded that nobody's been here for years, so he doubted it. However, Hibiki quoted that there must be something. Meanwhile, throwing the things, Shira noted that it's all junk, and Hibiki stated, "Shai-chan, don't throw anything, what if she hits something?" And then something landed on her head, and it's a photo frame. Then Hibiki noted that's probably a picture of her back when she wasn't a monster and wondered what happened to her family, but that's not hard to imagine. Apparently, she exclaimed that maybe they could be a replacement for her family because in a huge house like this, all is she must be so sad. Further, Hibiki prolonged that if they could make her feel like she did when this photo was taken, maybe remember who she was, hearing her Ahito ask if that is the kind of magic she was talking about. Then Hibiki quoted that it can't be that easy, so Ahito noted let's try it, he'll wager everything on her magic. Later, Ahito asserted they're doing this, but no one here is going to make a convincing mother figure. Then Hibiki quoted, if she threw this over her shoulder and it looks like a cardigan. Then he stated, even less convincing as it's not like the photo at all. Plus, that's his role as Shira is the younger brother. Shira noted, she'll fight for the right to be the father. Suddenly, Hibiki saw a hat and mentioned a pink ribbon as this is the hat from the photo. But unexpectedly, a monster entered the room. Ahito shouted it found them. No time to go over their plan as it doesn't look like something that would listen to reason, so he's gonna use the gun. But moving in front of it, Hibiki contemplated, that's because she probably already knows the summer memories of time together with people who are special to her, and put that hat on its head. Then it articulated, what shall they play today? So let's play as long as the sun's in the sky. After remembering, it vanished. While walking, Hibiki started sobbing. Ahito quoted, there was no choice, teacher, as that girl, they released her form the curse, and he is sure that she was happy. Seeing this, Ahito contemplated, once they become non-human and could never become a person again, as the human mind can't deal with becoming a monster, but it was a blessing for her to be human in her final moments, and thinks he saw it too, that a true smile on the face of a monster. While wiping her face, he stated, now no more crying, and this is pathetic as she's the professor. Then Shira mentioned, Hibiki is totally a crybaby, but she still has her and should be ecstatic. Then they both embraced each other. Seeing them, Ahito pondered, teacher, that was some wonderful magic and hope. When he dies, it's exactly like that. Then noted, he'll be counting on her when the time comes, teacher. However, Hibiki asked if he said something, and he denied and questioned, boss lady, shall we head back? Further, Ahito contemplated that he'd like to stick around and watch work she quaint, a humble brand of magic. Later, it articulated, Hibiki got busted as Misaki shouted, what is the meaning of this, Professor Hibiki? As she's back early and didn't even go to the right place, so what kind of teacher she is? In the next scene, Hibiki stated that now to make some magic out of her heart into it as she's done. Then Shira quoted that she's a totally boring magician and bad at drawing as she's so much better than her. Apparently, Shira noted that she's thirsty and Hibiki voiced, Shai-chan is eating too many crackers. While pouring the tea, Hibiki contemplated that someday she wants to be able to use magic to help other people, but guessed she just has no talent for these things. Suddenly, Ahito voiced, the teacher found something interesting, and it was in his storage locker, so it looked a little sketchy if she asked him and he'd give odd it's a cursed object. Hearing him, Hibiki got confused, and he mentioned a teacher she's not very bright. Further, he explained that a cursed object is an item that's been granted magical properties by way of a curse as it's a type of negative magic, but magic nonetheless. Hearing curse words, Ahito mentioned that he had some scary memories of curses as it can destroy the soil. That means what's sealed in here is likely extremely rare and very special. Seeing the box, Hibiki noted that she could already sense it, and Shira stated it sounds fun, but Hibiki denied it as it's dangerous, and Shira asserted that it's perfect for her collection, so it's time to open it. As soon as she opened the box, Ahito questioned, what is that? As it's pretty rusty, but he was expecting something more peculiar, and Shira mentioned how boring, especially after all that build-up. While grabbing it, Hibiki noted that she was really worried it would be something scary, and Ahito quoted that it's nothing as it might still be a curse, just an unimpressive one, and Hibiki stated it's not just a piece of metal, as she guessed it really is a cursed object. Then Shira questioned when she learned to do that with her hand, but Hibiki mentioned that it won't come off as it's stuck on her hand. Then Ahito asked what's going on, as this is troubling. Also, their curse specialist, Itsuko-san, is out until this afternoon, so let's do some research in the library. Further, he mentioned, plus, if they ask around the academy, someone must know how to undo the curse. Hearing this, Hibiki thanked him, but Ahito asserted that they're not out of the woods yet, so don't be happy and let go of her hand. As they were trying to let go of their hand, Shira voiced, "This isn't funny," while running towards them, and quoted that she could only hold Hibiki's hand. Then Ahito stated that it's not letting go as this is so messed up, so Hibiki noted this must be what the curse was, and Shira quoted, "Just leave it to her as she'll have it off in a jiffy," seeing the gun. Hibiki mentioned that she'll lose her hand, and Ahito stated let's not do anything until they had more info. While walking, Hibiki noted that everyone is staring at them, then apologized to him, and he assured her that it's fine, but she asserted that it is actually kind of fun as it looks like they are a happy family. Eventually, Ahito asked an interesting observation of how the teacher family was, and she denied, but Master Shiratsuki would often hold her hand, and it made her very happy. Then he mentioned that for a master and a student they sure were really close, and she agreed. Unexpectedly, Asuma voiced, "Isn't it, Hibiki?" Then asked, "How's it going?" And here's the Academy's #1 problem child, Ahito-kun. Seeing him, Hibiki contemplated what luck as the headmaster may be able to break this curse, but Asuma quoted how adorable as they were holding hands. While joining his, he noted Misaki to join them. And Ahito shouted, "Wait a second, old man." But it's too late joining hands. Asuma mentioned enjoy the springtime of life. Seeing her crying, he asked, "What's wrong, Hibiki?" as she looks awfully pale. After that, Hibiki stated that this family suddenly got bigger, and Misaki quoted that shame is unbearable. Then Asuma stated that curses are outside of his field of expertise, sadly, and their curse specialist, Itsuko-san, is still off campus, so they should nap. Just then a fly came and sat on Shira's nose. After a second it flew away. Seeing this, Hibiki contemplated that she's getting a bad feeling, and then Shira started pulling her hand because of the fly. Later, Asuma quoted that they did a lap of the whole school and no longer could show his face here. Hearing this, Hibiki immediately apologized. Then he asserted that this is one impressive cursed object, as it's rare to see one this powerful as a cursed magic like any other kind, and that means it comes with a price, so time memories she has to give to something. Further, Asuma continued that sacrifices like that require great strength and emotion, but he had to wonder what the person who created this was feeling at the time. Just then, Misaki quoted acting like he had some deep insight isn't actually changing the situation here. By the way, Hibiki mentioned that it's hard to see past all the rush, but asked what he thought this was originally.